Hi guys, my name's Mark and welcome to Leave Your Mark. Live streaming is going crazy right now. Everybody's figuring out about it. And 2020, we saw the webcam prices, Stream Deck prices, Elgato, everything else went crazy, off the market and everything. So everybody's trapped in their homes saying, okay, I might as well live stream if I'm gonna play all these video games. There's still a few people out there you can beat to the punch if you wanna stick around and learn a few things. Today, we're gonna be learning two things, and it's gonna be how to add your audio and then your video feed for your gameplay and your Facecam to OBS, so potentially you could get up and live stream today if you wanted to. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty then. Remember, if you guys find this video helpful, hit the like button. It definitely helps in the YouTube algorithm. And then on top of that, comment anything that you would like to learn so that I can work on those videos and maybe release them later on by the time you're ready to learn it, okay? If you don't already have OBS, I'll put a link down below in the description so that you can get it, and it's a totally free program. Now, if you don't know already, OBS is like Photoshop or PowerPoint. There's pages, and then there's things that you put on those pages that are layer based. So when you stack things on top of each other, they don't disappear. They just simply are underneath or in front of, behind, whatever it may be. So with a little creativity, you can do a lot of things with OBS Studio. Now, I've set up this training scene so that you guys can see exactly what you would see when you walk into OBS, a clear blank slate. And we're gonna move from this so that you can see exactly how I would set it up from scratch. Okay, now, the first thing we're gonna do is add our audio. There's two different types of audio. There's global audio, and then you can add it as a source. Like I said, we have pages and then we have things on those pages. Our pages are called scenes. You can see right above my head is this scenes, and there's one there already. It just says scene. And then here is our sources. Our sources are going to be the items that we put on those scenes. If we wanted to, we could go down to the bottom here on the plus symbol. We can add a source and we can add an audio input capture. Once we're here, it'll allow us to rename it whatever we want. HyperX mic. And then you just select it from the list. And voila, you have your mic on the scene. Now, this mic is going to remain on this scene and this scene only. Now remember, I told you there was two different types of audio you could add. There's global audio and sources. This is a source, and it is only going to remain on this scene. If we add a new scene, the mic is not going to be added to that scene unless I manually add it myself. Now we can go back and I can show you what the global audio is, which is what I recommend when you're starting out. Now, we want two forms of audio. We want our gameplay audio and we want our mic audio so that they can hear us talk and they can hear the game that we're playing. Now, if you go to your settings tab, which is right down here, settings, and then you go over down to the audio tab, you've got this middle box here. It's called global audio devices. The first line you see is desktop audio. And whatever your desktop is set to output sound to, that's what you want it to play. A lot of times you can just use the default and that'll work just fine. Next, we want to set up our mic sound so they can hear us talk. Now you come down a couple lines and you got mic or auxiliary audio. Maybe you have some other audio devices that you would like to pump in. Like me, for instance. I have a record player that one day I would like to set up to feed into the stream. One day. We hit this drop down box, we can select our microphone as a global audio device. We hit apply and OK. And as you see, we've added two audio sources to this one scene. The only difference from adding this as a global audio device as opposed to a source is that every time we make a new scene, these audio devices will be automatically added. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We won't bother renaming it. We'll leave it as scene number 2. And if we go to scene number 2, it's here as well. Scene number 2 has both of these audio. That saves you from having to add audio to all of your scenes over and over and over again. All right, now I think we're ready to move on to the desktop video feed. Whatever your gameplay is going to be showing so that everybody on stream or whatever you're streaming to can view what you're doing. There's 3 different sources you can add to your scene in order to get your gameplay on screen. If we click the plus symbol down here to add a new source, we have display capture, game capture, and window capture. Now, window capture is going to capture a specific window that we designate. So if I wanted to capture Adobe Premiere at all times whenever it's open, I can capture this specific window. As long as it's open, it will appear in the list and I can select that specific window and it will only show that window. If we go back and add a game capture, this will capture any full screen application or a specific window that we designate. However, that window has to be open and active in order to add it. And the final and my favorite method is actually display capture. Now, this is my favorite method, however, it comes with some setbacks. This is my OBS as it looks right now. I'm capturing the other display. I have two monitors, and on my other monitor is the OBS that I'm recording with. So this is what you guys see because I'm displaying the monitor on my left side. The only risk with this method is that if you have any sensitive information on screen, it could be viewable by whoever you're streaming to at the time. However, I found that the other two methods can be finicky when you Alt-Tab to get out of games. Maybe you don't run the game in full screen. Maybe there's aggressive anti-cheat software on it. It's just kind of finicky, and honestly, I really recommend that you use display capture and try to get around the privacy problem, because honestly, this is going to be your path of least resistance. All right, we've got our audio, we've got our gameplay. I think all we need is our Facecam, and some of you guys don't even use a Facecam, so you might be able to skip this step. In order to add a Facecam, where do you think we're gonna go? Yes, you guessed it right. We're gonna go to add sources. We're gonna hit the plus button at the bottom. And this time it's gonna be video capture device. It's kind of self-explanatory. There's a little camera next to it. Come on, you can't miss it. Video capture device. So I'm gonna deactivate it here so that you guys can see how it acts when I add it to the OBS that we've created a scene for. And now with that camera activated, I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate and reactivate this feed, and voila, look it, I'm right here in the flesh. And we've added this camera here. We can click OK. Look at all the settings, don't really need to be messed with, but you can always change the resolution, color space. There's a couple options down here that you can configure if you need to. Hit OK, and then these red handles here will let you edit the scene as you wish. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my face right here in the middle because we've added everything that we need, and like I said, you can play with it, you can put it wherever you want, you can put it down here, put it over here, you can get creative with it, you know? So, we've got a Facecam, we've got audio, we've got gameplay. You guys are pretty much off to the races. You can just connect your Twitch account in the settings and off you go. Now, I know you've been watching some of your favorite streamers and wondering, how do they get that crispy cam footage? They just have all this money, they can buy this little camera that they can set up and use as a webcam forever. I mean, yes, there is some money that goes into the camera, but honestly, you don't need to spend that much money to get good quality. A lot of the times, half of the ordeal is the lighting. The correct lighting makes major differences. So, I told you guys at the beginning of the video that I had some things to help take your simple setup to the next level, and we're about to deliver. So, like I said, the camera, the crispiness, you want to get it all the time, and I found a way to do it on the cheap, you know, on the low. Usually you would have to get an Elgato Cam Link, which is like $125, and then you'd have to hook it up to your DSLR and hope that it worked, blah, 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 blah. But there are cheaper versions for all of this. So with like an $8 adapter and a $25 video converter, you can have yourself a pretty cheap, really good setup. Now this camera that I have, the A5100, I think is maybe circling around $400 now, and then an extra 30 bucks for that little setup. It actually will look really good. So links down below in the description to get your cheap cam link and adapters so that you can have your face cam looking nice and crispy. And then even beyond that, you can add tons of filters, different transformations to all of the sources on OBS to give you a unique style. You could add filters for Chroma King if you want to add a green screen. You could crop sources if you need to take a piece of a source. You could apply a LUT to a source to make it look exactly the way you want it to. There's so many options when it comes down to the transformations you can create with OBS. I mean, just look at somebody like Dr. Disrespect All the things he does with flying in ships and going through the arena, driving in cars, that's all done through OBS with layering, transparency, PNG files, green screen. It's all a great show that he puts on, and he makes it a seamless show. He honestly makes it look easy, but it's quite the task to put all that on, and every once in a while there is a mistake, but for him to get through it as cleanly as he does, as often as he does, it's impressive, and I don't think enough people give him the pat on the back for that, as he should. And now you should be ready to live stream if you wanted to. I hope that was some sort of help. If so, remember to hit the like button. It goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. And if not, then hit the thumbs down button and then hit the comments to let me know what you think I could have done better, or maybe something that you want to learn from OBS. Next video will be going through all the settings in OBS to make sure that you have the best settings for the best results in 2021 with your live streaming career. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Mark, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.